Well, the search will resume this morning, Kay. It would have been halted overnight, and from what we believe, it will be even more intense. There was a break in the search yesterday when police received information that seemed quite hopeful because they were told or led to believe that Jay had been spotted in the tourist zones of Los Cristianos and Las Americas, which a lot of your watchers will know will have been to on holidays. So that was a sense, well, if he's there, he is near people and he can get a phone, get water and contact his family. But then about an hour or two later, it was revealed that, in fact, that had been unverified, wasn't true, and the search was back up in the mountains. Tenerife seems like a small island, I think, to anybody who's visited it or flown over as they come into land on their holidays. But once you leave the tourist zones and go up into the mountains, it isn't that easy a place to navigate if you don't know where you are. And I think this is what is being believed by police and by other searchers, that he went off the road to try and work his way, find his way home along the paths, and he has become lost or become disorientated, but hopefully will still be found. And I think people believe today is a key day in the search.
And Clio, what about this area where Jay was last seen? Can you describe the terrain for me?
Certainly. There is one biggish village called Masca, which is kind of hanging off the side of a cliff in a sense. It's a very beautiful and very isolated village. But to either side of that, you will have the occasional bar along the road and maybe a small farmhouse. But this in general is a dry, arid part of the island along the south and then up to the northwest coast. And you have to remember too that these are in essence volcanic islands. So the terrain is dry, but there are also ravines and small gulfs, and the road and the path will take you on twists and turns that you mightn't expect. If you're not used to where you are, it might look like it's a short enough path down to the sea, because one would assume that Jay would have looked down towards the coast and said, that's where I need to get to. But once you set out on that walk, you can find yourself behind cliffs, down gullies, and as I say, in a very dry part of the island. We don't have rivers or lakes or streams, unfortunately, so it would be quite difficult for him to access any running water as well.
And Clio, are there places within that journey down to the sea where he could have protected himself against the heat?
There would have been. I mean, there would be small cliffs and maybe little kind of shelters under rocks that he could have found. It is also possible that he came across isolated farmhouses on the way. Now, one would imagine that if that was the case, these would be people who would have had some contact with the outside world and would have been able to help him find his way down to the coast. Along those rural pathways, you mightn't find people who speak English, but they would have access to a phone and they would have been able to help him. Luckily, we are not experiencing the kind of heat waves that people might remember from some of the Greek islands and the Mediterranean coast in the last 2 weeks. To us, it isn't that hot if we live here. It's been about 25, 26 degrees during the day. However, if you are lost and you are trekking all day and you don't have water, 25 degrees is going to feel like very, very hot indeed. So I think the concerns are that this, as I say, this is a key day. Today is the day that they want to have good news and be able to say they have found Jay. If he has taken shelter, the hope is that he is somewhere waiting for help to come along. The problem will be, does he have a phone signal? Will people be able to locate him? Can he hear the cries as they are calling out from him along the paths?
And a final thought on the search, how's that looking?
It's very intense. I mean, the authorities are very, very, very keen to find this young lad for his sake and for the sake of the island. There are search and rescue mountain specialists up there, the Guardia Civil, the Civil Guard. There are mountain rescue dogs, drones, helicopters. They are pretty much using all the resources that are at their disposal. And they are also liaising with the people and, as far as we are aware, in contact with the family. So they're taking suggestions from the family rather than saying, no, this is our investigation, as can happen in some cases. So I think there is a very much a coordinated search with the intention that hopefully there will be good news.
Oh, we sincerely hope so, Clio, both for him and indeed for his family's sake as well. For now, thank you very much.
You're welcome.